Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time of day it is. Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Dr. Don. This show is produced and broadcast from Portland, Oregon, USA. For your first-time viewers, Conversations with Dr. Don is an ongoing series of one-hour standalone shows where I talk to interesting people about who they are as unique, one-of-a-kind individuals and about whatever else that we are going to be talking about. And my guest this evening was on years ago, Ithica. It's good to see you
It's
again.
so good to see you. We love you, Don.
Thank
so
you,
much.
How you feeling now?
Really good.
Yeah?
Life is good. Yeah.
You've been before
crazy good.
cameras and on stage for so long. You're not nervous like I am.
No, and how are you nervous? You do this all the time.
I know. I can't figure it out.
I don't get it. I love being, I don't know, it's something about being in a space and having energy focused in your direction and sort of putting positive energy back out in that direction. It's a nice job to have, you know? Yeah, nice job to have.
And after all these years, I remember how delightful it was to visit with you and talk with you, just hang out with you.
Yeah.
So it's a real pleasure to bump into you again at an audition.
So surprised. That was awesome. Literally, randomly, there you were sitting on a bench. And it was so good to see you. Yeah, and it took me all the way back to the last time we did this, which was really cool. Cool.
So as you know, the show goes in two major parts. The first part is the bio segment where we talk about who you are. And the second part, we'll talk some more about what's been going on, whatever else you want to talk about. I was saying to my director before the camera started rolling, Ithica is just the opposite of some of my other guests I have. I've got to pull stuff out of them. And all I got to do is say, Ithica, hello, and she's off and running.
I have a problem shushing. It's a good problem to have, I guess, to be effusive and confident that you are not going to alienate people, or mostly confident that you're not going to alienate people in conversation is a good thing. And it's a skill that I think more kids need to build. It's something that sort of has been culled out of our school system. There's less public speaking. There's less of an emphasis on it. There's a lot of this going on. There's a lot of this going on. Those kids' QWERTY fingers are amazing, but to get them up in front of a group of people and express whatever truth they have and feel like it doesn't matter what kind of judgment they get back, that moment is theirs and is precious and is for them, and that they're allowed to have it. So few of us are raising children with that energy. I don't have any. So I guess teaching in schools helps me imbue that energy on other kids, but I just wish it was something that we were allowing them to have more of naturally without necessarily trying to be a pop star or a TV star or something like that. Just engaged. Those are the kinds of energies and skills that lead to positive political action, you know, and we're not raising our kids to move in that
Positive political action. That's needed nowadays.
I think we always need it, but one of the things that I'm seeing a lot of is this sort of expression of emotion that isn't based in any kind of tether of the language, because words are powerful, and when you just spit emotion out with whatever the first words are that come to you, they're typically lined and sort of greased with that emotion, be it hate, love, or whatever. If you take a moment, extract that emotion from it, what are the words that are going to best express the point, as it were, without causing pain, without causing angst, without causing hurt feelings? We don't have enough of that. There's a lot of like, I'll say what I want. And quite often what you want to say is something hurtful because you're reacting to something that hurt you. So your words are fueled with that. There's no concept of real conscious argument anymore. You know, we just yell at each other. We just blah. And we're not taught to think logically, therefore we don't argue logically.
How did you get to be the way that you are when you're visiting with people and talking and back and forth? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's why I named you Wonder Woman, Ithica. Where'd that come from?
Really know. I don't know. Well, okay. I will admit.
It's delightful, incidentally.
Thank you. I'll admit that some of it is just sort of stream of consciousness. Like I feel at times like I'm overcome by an energy that needs to come out of me, whether it's me or not me. This channeling of this universal energy, this universal consciousness, this universal, like, sometimes the truth just comes out. Whether I'm planning it to come out or not. And I think partly because I am a conduit of I try to be a conduit of positive energy. My last name is Tell, so I talk for a living. As an open vessel for that energy, the world can speak through me pretty easily. And sometimes it comes in my mind and out my mouth, and I'm like, where did that come from? Thank you, universe, for channeling it through me. And again, this harkens back to that whole lack of organized religion thing, is that I feel like I'm open to all of the possibilities of the universe. And so if being a conduit of truth for it is one of those possibilities, here I am.
And you've always been this way, from the time you were a little girl or teener? And
yeah,
like
I've been a big talker. I'm second oldest of a split 7 set. So my sister and I, and then my parents got divorced. They remarried to different people, different sets of kids. So then there's my brother's set, and then my brother, sister, stepbrother set. My sister and I and our brother set are, close. We've lived together always. We've sort of grown up watching sitcoms and television and sort of culled this Americanism in the way we speak. We're not really prone to holding back. We are kind of that, not arrogant necessarily, but certainly outspoken kind of American energy that the global universe says is true of us. We're also from Ohio, which is a mostly forward northern area. We have a great grasp of English because my mom was an English major. So argument
it shows.
Is argument's something that comes naturally to us. Sort of raconteurism is something that comes naturally to us. Plus, my brother's writes. My sister was a writer director, loves to do that kind of acting stuff, and I act. So all of that combines to make me who I am. Yeah.
And that was your life's choice as a career, theater or acting? Do you have other things that you were doing to earn a living?
No, to make a living, no. I always wanted to be an actor as far as that is concerned. I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was in high school. There is a level of deftness of manual art in my family. My dad was an amazing artist, and my half brother is an amazing artist, and not my father's son. So clearly, there's some artistic skill on my mother's side as well. The two of them come together and make me, and I like to draw clothes. But I didn't follow an artistic structure necessarily. I was a free form artist. Okay. And the stricture of that structure that my teacher tried to teach me was more than my creative brain could reconcile with my artistic brain. So I had to take a step back from that because I couldn't figure out how to do it her way and make it the way I wanted it at the same time. Acting is easy to do those things. The director gives you an end goal. Or some directors only give you blocking. They say, I want you to go there, I want you to go there, I want you to go there, and I want you to end up here. Some directors, that is a word that I've coined, will come and walk you through everything while you stand there and watch them sort of mark your pattern and sort of attempt to emote for you, and then you see what they give you and you run with that.
There's a whole variation on what they do, the directors, yeah.
Absolutely. However, ultimately, when it comes to the interpretation of the words,
yeah,
that's where my direct level of expertise comes in, because I am the one that has to put those words in the heart, out the mouth, and then into the hearts of the audience. Yeah. I am the verbal manipulator, as it were, as the actor. I get to manipulate the words to manipulate the emotions of the audience. And night to night, it can be different. It depends, you know. Tonight I'll hit the, next night I'll hit the was, you know. Each word in a sentence can have an inflection. Which one's gonna land in the heart? That's my job.
All right, so you hold that for now because we're gonna do some basic bio stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I ask your best friend, who is Wonder Woman? What would your best friend say? She would say, Ithica is.
Well, it depends on which of my wonderful friends you ask.
Pick one.
The people who have known me the most would say Ithica is a mad woman, in the best sort of mad. You know, like Mad TV mad. Like I am gregarious. I am loving, caring, that sort of thing. Honestly, it just depends on the day you meet me. If you meet me in a good mood, I'm a good person to know. But if you catch me in a moment of not angst, because I don't angst very much, but if I'm in a moment that I cannot get out of with positive energy and have to address with negative energy, look out. My mom nicknamed me World Mover when I was a kid because I wanted to do things and kind of ended up doing them. I wanted to move to Hawaii, so I did. I wanted to go to school here, so I did. I wanted to work there, so I did. That energy can be wielded positively and negatively.
Of course.
And knowing that, I've grown a lot in the last 5-6 years in an understanding of how your own personal power affects the rest of the world. And my own personal power is steeped in the knowledge that I'm really good at some things that a lot of people are really bad at. I'm really confident about myself in a way that a lot of people might not be, were they steeped with the obstacles that I have been steeped with in my life. And I'm a happy person despite all of the bad things that have happened.
Would your mother suggest that you're a Wonder Woman?
Oh, absolutely.
I guess.
Definitely. Yeah. World mover. Hello.
So if I ask you a question that you don't want to answer, well, just say no, let's move on, or whatever, okay? And where were you born?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah. And I won't ask you when, because that's not very polite.
I am not afraid. September 5th, 1970. I will be 46 this year.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited about it.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Life gets better and better, I'm finding, the older you get. Not necessarily physically. As a physical entity, I'm recognizing that age is a true thing and how to work around that as a grown-up, a debilitating grown-up. Because the knees will not last forever. Neither will the hips or the elbows or any of the beautiful joints, and you really want them to. But in my family, we're not built that way, so that's what I'm up against. But life is good the older you get. You know more, you can make better decisions based on the information that you have, and you still have this connection to that vibrant, jovial, bouncy, bubbly child that you used to be. You still know them. So it's you should know this. It's gorgeous.
And I'm listening to you and hearing again what I heard before, not perhaps everything quite the same way, but it's good for me personally to hear this coming from you.
Yeah.
It's just delightful to hang out with you again.
I love it.
One more trick question.
Yeah.
Why were you born?
I think you asked me this last time, and I don't believe I had a sound answer for it. I don't think my answer is any more sound this time. Mm-hmm. But based on my life lately and the things that are coming, I am here to remind people that it's still good. It's all still good. It's all good, no matter what. Keep pressing, it will be good. Keep pressing, it will be good. Mm-hmm. That's just it. There's so many things and so many times I could have just been like done with this. Some casting director from LA says, well, you don't look like Halle Berry, so you're probably not going to work in this business. And I book a spot on a TV show today. right? So forget you, Barbara. Look at me working, right? I mean, in my lifetime, I've heard lots of no's and lots of no's and lots of no's and lots of things that possibly won't happen, and lots of really beautiful things are happening around the world. There's a lot of negativity, but if we think of the world in a yin-yang sort of situation, you cannot have the light without the dark. You cannot have the good without the bad. You need them to balance each other. And therefore, I cannot despair forever. You know, I will not despair forever. It will get better. The tide will turn. The pendulum will swing. So I'm here to encourage people about that.
Why were you born?
To remind us of that. The possibilities are endless. Positivity is the energy you need to get through it. That's it.
So
People
that's
can
why
call you terrible things, smile your way through it, and it'll be fine. You'll grow, you'll be stronger. You know, I'm here to show the world that anything is possible.
So that's why you were born, to show the world that anything is possible.
Well, I was born because my mom is awesome and decided to keep me. Actually, no, not that she was even questioning it. They had my sister. Aisha was there already, and I was second. I mean, honestly, my parents made a decision to have another kid. So I'm here because they realized that having an only child was not something that they wanted to do. And that it would benefit my sister and myself if there was more than just her.
Where are your mom and dad today?
My mother is here. She lives in Milwaukee with my sister. My dad lives in Mobile, Alabama with my stepmother. And then my siblings are in Michigan. Some of them are here, one's in Hawaii. We're all over the place. It's good.
Next complicated question.
Ooh.
Significant things about your racial, national, or cultural heritage. Anything comes to mind that the viewers may be curious about you?
Curious? I don't know if anybody would be curious about anything. You look at me, I'm a woman. The first thing you see is probably black. So here I am, I'm a woman, I am left-handed, which means honestly that I had to learn how to turn doorknobs differently depending on the design of the building, use a pen differently depending on the design of the desk. Like in the Bible, left-handed horseman is the most evil horseman of the apocalypse. In Italian, the word for left-handed is la sinistra. In French, it's gauche. These are words sinister and gauche. Like left-handed people do not. If you go to a Middle Eastern or an African restaurant where they have, a table full of food and everybody sort of eats buffet style, right, with your hands. If you reach into a middle of a hummus plate or something like that with your left hand, people freak right out because your left hand is meant for different business than your right hand. And that's age old. That's from way, way back when, you get some bad things in your food and everybody's got dysentery or something and everyone's sick and dying. So I understand the logic of that, but the emotional energy that goes along with those negative phrases about the person you are can linger in your being. And so here, when you look at languages that weight their words, masculine or feminine, the feminine words are usually the ones that are weaker or bear less prominent energy. They're the bad words, the sad words, the weak words. In Shakespeare, iambic pentameter, that's 10 feet. If it goes longer than that, it's called a weak ending or a feminine ending. So words are gendered against us. The power of those gendered words creates an energy in women. So now I'm left-handed, I'm a woman, I'm black. The things that reign negatively fall under the black category as well. So here are all these things that are stacked against you as a person. Do you roll with the general definition of it all, or do you resonate with the energy that you have and prove the world wrong? This is what I do.
So sometimes the world is wrong.
Almost always the popular idea is based in a little bit of misinformation, I think. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so popular if you could see all the grime and less of the shine. Not everyone would want to go there. But the reason that they put up the smoke in the mirrors is to hide the garbage behind it. And so the world is geared to look at that, to look at the shiny and expect it to be that way, to look at a pretty girl, a girl who is, aesthetically pleasing, falls into that golden mean ratio, and assume that she is better at everything simply because her face didn't get smushed in the birth process. She's probably a cesarean section that got picked up out of her mama because mama couldn't push one strong enough to survive that birth. But if that's not the case, then still there is this idea that these are the good things, these are the bad things. If you fall in the bad category, you have to suffer the consequences. I fall into a lot of bad categories, technically. And I refuse to suffer any consequences for it. I refuse.
How would you avoid that?
By being opinionated and strong, by being an educated woman, by being an educated black person, by being an out about it person. Like, I'm not afraid to let people know how smart I am. I'm not afraid to let people know how dumb I am. Like, I don't know everything. I'm real bad at math. Real bad at maths. All the maths. Kind of terrible at them. But I have a love of English that makes me want to make up words.
Do you scare people because of how you are?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm sure that I do. If I were to liken myself to a natural phenomena, I would be a bit of a fire tornado, which is not an actual natural phenomena. But I think that I am sort of like blazing in my energy and twirling at the same time, like I'm shiny and, oh, what's going on over there? But if you are attracted to that, then then you're like, yeah, the fire, it's nice and it's moving and it's warm and let's hang out, But if you're afraid, if you're a creature that dwells in the darkness, if you can't handle the light, if you can't handle the twirl, then I'm too much for you. Pretty much. Pretty much.
Religious preference, any comment about that? Did you have one before? Do you have one now?
No, and it hasn't changed. I call myself, when people need a definition of me, a recovering Christian.
Me too.
Because I've been Christian bred my entire life to sort of dream in that direction and think in that direction. I've been a Muslim. I find monotheism limiting and organized religion harmful to most people that don't fall into their demographic. If you are not of their sect, of their preferred sex, or of their preferred shade, you cannot participate. And I don't like games that exclude me. It's not fun. And far too many of them find reasons to find women subpar, to find darker shaded people subpar. I read a passage in a religious book that basically said black people are bred for servitude because of this one incident in their Bible, and I shook it and threw it. Couldn't participate.
Was that Old Testament or something? A Christian book?
No. Sect of, I don't want to, forget it. Mormons. It's the Mormons. It's the Book of Mormon. I'm sorry, you guys. But check out Nephi, okay? I keep this in my brain, and I have a lovely friend named Nephi. And when Nephi and I met, Nephi's a Mormon, I told him about the book, and that's part of the reason that he's not practicing. Because it's far too exclusionary. I mean, they really got it together recently and realized that we are financial, even if it is a small financial bastion, we're still a financial bastion in this country. And churches want your money as well as your hearts to get at your soul. Scientology just got removed. I mean, like there are these groups that profess to be spiritually motivated and are in fact financially motivated. And I still remember enough of the Bible that I'm sort of a hippie about it, you know. Jesus was trying to get Jews to be better Jews. He had no intention of dealing with Christians at all. There was no such thing until after he was long dead.
Of course.
So knowing that, it makes me have to judge the information based on the populace that it was meant for. So I am not a Jew, therefore it was not necessarily meant for me. But as a person, the teachings were about being better to people, not trying to buy your way into a glorious place, not trying to say, here's my quotient of funds, now I'm set, I can go live whatever life I want, be as treacherous, dangerous, horrible, misogynist as I care to be until the day that I die, and then all I have to do is say, sorry, take me, Jesus, and everything's cool. No, thank you. I'm not down with that. Jesus wasn't down with that. And then our philosophies change if you stop thinking of this individual as a political individual. When you mythify and magify, you know, a person and create this fantasy character who can, by effect of their finger, change a liquid into another kind of liquid. Probably not my
Are you spiritual?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I feel like there is a wavelength that we as human beings connect to, I'll say Tellurian because I mean earthbound beings of all kinds, cats, dogs. I can look in a cat's face and feel connected to it as an entity. I can look in a fish, my boo-boo, my beautiful blue beta, and whenever I walk into the room, he comes to the glass. He'll be chilling at the bottom, and he'll come to the glass to see me. It's a fish. Yes, I feed it, but Ethan, my boyfriend, is in the house as well. And so when it notices me, he'll come to the glass more often than he will with Ethan. But I've had him longer. I've been around longer, so I'm his mama, as it were. Those connections aren't superficial. That fish is a spirit. That cat is a spirit. I am a spirit. Therefore, I am spiritual. I feel us all together. I recognize that we all belong here, even the ants that are all over my counter. Summertime. Spring into summer, gross. But I try not to kill them directly. Most of the time. There are times when I literally think about it. These are entities. They belong here. They're doing something. Right now, they're trashing my kitchen. But they're going from one place to another, living a life, progressing, doing whatever their thing is, and having a course of it.
So if we're available, there's some connection between other life or living things.
Yes.
And that's a fascinating idea to pursue.
If we're available to it.
Yeah.
If we're amenable to it.
Amenable to it.
You know? You got to be open, and we've been trained to be closed. We are bred to be closed. We're bred to be closed off from each other. We're bred to be closed off. We start with gender. Boom, boys, girls. So you're locked out, you're locked out. And then even further down, we break it down races. You're locked out, you're locked out. Even further down, we break it down classes. It's just we're so busy disconnecting ourselves from each other that any possibility of global development is lost because we refuse to connect.
Education, formal or otherwise. So you say a few words about that? The viewers may be curious.
I've had some. I like it sometimes. College as an entity is an interesting thing for me because if you don't know what you want to do and you have to do something, it's a great way to find out possibly who you will become if you do a liberal studies sort of program. But I don't feel like those schools anymore are designed for teaching. They're designed for shareholding, and I'm frustrated by that. I teach a residency at a local. It's a Catholic school. It's a private school. And their program is different than some of the other private schools in town in that they partner with businesses and allow their students to work during their school day.
Interesting.
A couple of hours a day or a couple of days a week. 1 or 2, depending on whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And so trying to teach an acting class in this school is difficult because every day a group of students is missing. The freshmen go to work one day, the sophomore go to work another day, juniors, seniors, and then on Monday or Friday, it's a mixed bag of who's working. So that makes it difficult. But this school is encouraging these students to get out into the workforce now. It's how their tuition is partly paid. It's how they manage to reduce their tuition from the standard $30,000 a year for private schools to $3,000. Okay, right? So good. So broken off with the jobs, and then they go to school during the day. I have a student who dropped out recently, and I was hurt. Simply because we lost a student in our class. I was disappointed because we lost a student in our class, but I was really excited for the student because here's this 16-year-old young man working on 17. He's a junior now, okay? He knows that the everyday in and out rigmarole of high school is not for him. He has basically tested out of all of the stuff that he's kind of required to know at this point, and has decided that to have a school day, which consists of a partial work day, and then work a part-time job afterwards. That was the outlying factor for this kid, was that not only was he working during his school day, he had a real job afterwards, where he was working 20, 30 hours a week. At 16.
Oh my goodness.
So here he is with this thing that he wants to do. He's going to possibly get a management position. Like, this kid knows that he wants to work for this corporation that he's working for after school. So he dropped out so he doesn't have to deal with this coming to do English class every day when he knows what a gerund is. Who cares at this point? The kid writes music, he writes poetry, he writes novels. He's an excellent student when it comes to English. But why does he have to sit through trigonometry when he does not care? When he's not going to be a mathematician? Why waste his time? 2 more years of his life.
I'm going to put your name in. I'm going to write you in when he's choosing our next president.
I like to swear too much. I don't think that that's possible. It is hard for me to restrain myself right now.
We're going to need to take a break for a few minutes.
Let's do that. I'm going to drink some water.
Okay. Hey!
Awesome.
So, I was running my mouth, and I want to thank you for staying tuned, even though I was running my mouth. And for your viewers who missed the opening of the show, Conversations with Dr. Don is an ongoing series of 1-hour standalone talk shows where I interview interesting people like most of you out there about who they are as unique, one-of-a-kind individuals, and about whatever it is that we can talk about. And my guest this evening is talking about theater and acting, and Wonder Woman Ithica is so full of stories, and I just enjoy you so much, and
Thanks.
I hope you do too. Yeah. So let's continue a little bit where we left off here, because I wanted to ask you a few more questions about, I think I wanted to cover too. Your partner, that's what I want to ask you about. Of course, you need a couple of hours to cover this one. Please tell me about that, because the last time we were together, many years ago, we were discussing that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that most of the men you met were small enough for you to carry around on your hip.
Diminutive. Teeny guys. I can't, the universe is full of people, and they vary in height. And we tall people tend to be sort of visual outliers. You see us up there and you're like, what is going on? I've lived that life for a very long time, and am lucky that I found a wonderful, beautiful, fabulous, funny, ridiculous, awesome, perfect for me, and 6'8". 6'8", Don. I'm so happy. I can literally wear 5-inch heels and still be shorter than him.
Really? How tall is he?
6'8".
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm 6 feet, so that's an 8-inch differential, which is great. However, emotionally, we are matched. It's brilliant.
How long have you been together?
Just about a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Not very long. However, all our lives, it's that so you walk through life and you're like, I'm a puzzle. There is a piece somewhere that matches me. And, you're a puzzle with a little curve that goes like that. And so, yeah, you'll suffer through that piece that's not quite curved the right way because it sort of fits.
But for so many years you were looking for
such a long time. Well, kind of forever. Because, ultimately, if I am a person who believes in that there is one person for everyone, which I'm really not, I believe that people like gems are faceted, and that, there are some facets that fit others.
Yeah.
However, we are like, it's a beautiful thing. I saw him walking down the hallway of my theater January 3rd of '15, and all is perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. It's
what
really
does he do?
He does everything I do, which is awesome. When we met, he was working for this company selling chainsaw chains, and was about to stop doing that to become a sort of full-time water fitness instructor, personal trainer. He used to dance ballet for years. And went to PSU, graduated from their theater program, but sort of focused on dancing because the genres are sometimes separated enough, music, theater, and dancing, that if you're not a musical theater person where you can do all three in the same show, you have to pick one or the other. So you either have to choose to be the singer in the band or the musician or the dancer or the actor on the stage. And so he was dancing for a while and was here and gone when I was here and gone. Born and raised here in Oregon. Funny. Randomly, he saw me in a show the end of last year, like November of 2014. And then we met January of 15 and have been together ever since. It's good. Our birthdays are a day apart. Our mother's birthdays are the same day. It's Kismet is what it is. Kismet. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. I'm so pleased.
I'm pleased too. And he can't be here tonight because he is in rehearsal for Ruttigore. Honestly, that's the best thing, is being in a relationship with someone who knows your life because they do what you do. I love water fitness. It's one of the things that helped me get fit for myself. I lost a bunch of weight, sort of helped my body prepare itself for turning into an old lady with arthritis. And so water fitness.
Long ways.
I'm gonna have a hip replacement in my future, in my imminent future. I've already been told that I can have it now if I want it.
Oh, for gosh.
It's, sometimes you break yourself. And sometimes you're born with weird things. Like, we've got strange joints in my family anyway. My doctor, my surgeon, she's so funny. She told me that she wants to keep my x-rays so she can put them in a book because my hips are the weirdest thing she's ever seen.
Hey.
Most people's hips are like really wide. Mine is trying to eat the socket. So the mobility's gone. But getting fit has sort of helped that. So water fitness helped me get fit enough that I can kind of sustain until I have to have the surgery. And then I became a water fitness instructor because I love the discipline so much, the moving through the water, the breadth of movement that I get in the water that I can't get on land, which keeps my muscles more elastic, which keeps me stronger. Plus, water's 12 times heavier than air, so it's a constant weight workout. I've built muscles that I didn't even realize I had. Plus, I have a captive audience. It's awesome. It's the best job ever.
I'm
so I get
not
to do that.
listening to what you're saying now anymore because my plate is overflowing now with things to do that are good for me.
Yeah, so much. That's good. It's moving is so important. We sit as a society, and that's one of the things that this hip has taught me, is that too much sitting is detrimental to us as human beings. We need to be up, we need to be active, and we aren't designed for that anymore. Our cars are built for reclining, our buses are built for reclining, our couches and chairs are built for reclining. We chill a lot as a society, and it's bad for our bodies. And I have to own that now at 45 and remember to move every day from now on, and not fall back into that, oh, I'm all right, I can coast for a year or two. No, you can't. Because if you stop now, it's going to be harder to climb back up.
How interested are you in politics and political issues, particularly on the national level?
A little bit interested. Interested enough because I recognize myself as a member of the community, but removed from it enough because I realize that there is a lot of game playing that is required to be a politician. There's a lot of punch pulling you have to do. There's a lot of truth twisting that you have to do, and I'm not sure I'm the person to do that. I'm alti, no shade. I try not to be venomous, and I try not to be obfuscatory, like hide the truth from people in any way. And as such, I sometimes come with the truth, and it hurts people's feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't like to hurt people's feelings. So I've learned to think about my words when I'm talking. I try to be actively thinking about what words I'm using while I'm putting sentences together, so that I can use the words that are the least loaded. And I don't think politicians do that. And in particular nowadays, this current of we don't like political correctness that's coming out of, I think that is what they're really saying. What I translate those words to mean is, I would like to get my bigot on. Thank you very much. You're stopping me from being the bigot I want to be.
Well put. I've never heard
That's a
put
problem.
that way before. Yeah.
That's a big problem. And no one wants to hear me say that to their face. What you said right now means you want to be a bigot, so come with it. You either want to be an ageist, or anti-feminine, or anti-gay, or anti-trans, or anti-something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And what I want to say to you is, put your big boy pants on and get over it. And they don't want to hear me say that either. So instead, I act from the stage, and I touch people that way with other people's words that are way less loaded, because I am far too big a caliber for most people to handle.
Oh, yes. I want to ask you a question, and yet I don't want to ask you a question.
Ask it.
How bright are you? IQ.
Oh, gosh.
That's right. Oh, gosh.
I don't know. I think I'm a secret smarty, but I'm kind of a secret dummy, too. Like, I can be real dumb at times. I can be quintessentially blonde, dumb, like, like, oh, what the hell? I had no idea that was the truth. No, no, it's a tiny piece of me. It's a tiny piece. I'm kind of,
You can't fake being brilliant.
But I'm brilliant by accident. Like, I incorporate a lot of information. I read a bunch of stuff. I look at a bunch of stuff. I like to watch movies. I like to watch TV shows. I like to watch lots of things.
Do you feel good about being as bright as you are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, stupid women get nowhere. Boring women get nowhere. And stupid women are boring. If you don't know a little bit about everything, a little bit of everything, you can't really get by in this world, and you can't get by in most of the society that I try to roll in as an actor.
I've been looking for something to have a fight with you about.
Oh, we will never fight.
Stupid women.
Slightly disagree.
Surprised.
Okay, I say that because that's a choice. You choose to be uneducated. You choose to be uninformed. It's a choice anymore. We have too much access. So to be uninformed is to choose to be ignorant of the world around you. To be uninformed, to not be multiply informed.
There's an example of your brilliance. I'm still learning from you. And I love it.
I have to watch stuff that I don't want to watch. I have to participate in. I had to watch parts of the Republican National Convention, whether I wanted to or not. I watched parts of the Democratic National Convention, whether I wanted to or not. I watched CNN, whether I want to or not. I watch Fox, whether I want to or not, because I need to know what the undereducated are incorporating into themselves so that I can fight it.
Yeah.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Yeah.
Cliche, in it?
Here's a loaded question. The difference between sympathy and empathy and compassion.
Ooh. That's a really good question. And interestingly, it leads us back to your question before this on how I get to be so bright. I was just watching a TED Talk recently.
I love
that. I love them so much. So many educated people. That was basically breaking down the difference between sympathy and empathy. And the difference between sympathy and empathy is an emotional connection to it. If you can feel how it could hurt a person to have something happen and express that pain in yourself in a way that encourages you to incorporate that person into your heart, that is empathy.
That's when compassion comes
That's where compassion comes into play. And that is the difference between sympathy and empathy, is the compassion to see yourself in that position, feel that pain though you have never been there, and share the energy needed to recover from that with the person who's going through that. Sympathy is, oh yeah, I can see how that would suck.
It's up here instead of here.
Yeah, it's here, not here. There's no emotional connection. There is no, it's all head, no heart.
You are so rich as a human being that you are.
If I had $1 for all of the sweetness I have, I would not be a good person because I'd have way too much money. Honestly, it's the corrupt. It's too much.
Persons from the past, alive or dead,
Okay.
that you like or admire. Any names come to mind? I've been doing this for 16 years, so I have a whole collection I can choose from, depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, right. Let's see. You know, again, more incorporation of information. I just saw, what's the name of it? It's a Nina Simone documentary.
Okay.
Amazing. I resonate with her in an interesting way. Not in a classically trained pianist kind of way, in a classically trained acting kind of way, yes, but in that need to incorporate the classics, I feel her. In that darkest berry sort of way, I feel her. In that you have to be really strong to survive in a lot of America. I feel her that way. And I love her voice, that deep, rich thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel her that way too, because as a singer, Nina Simone's voice is higher than mine, and her voice is so low. That I feel like, I don't know, she could have easily not made it. She could have easily not made it. She could have chosen not to sing at all because she didn't like her voice. I'm vain about my voice. I like it a lot, but I like it because other people like it. I like it because other people come up to me, and I can see that something about this mechanism that I am blessed to have has touched them, whether it's my speaking voice or my singing voice. All the time, people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, your voice! I could listen to you read the phone book." You know, that kind of thing is amazing because there are people that in my world that I feel that way about, and I know the richness of their voices, and to be put in that company just it touches me. It makes me feel really
Could
good.
you do a little bit of a favorite Nina Simone song right now?
Yeah, what's my
Really
favorite
challenging
Nina
you.
Simone song? I don't want to do that one because everybody does that one. Did she sing that song? No, she didn't. That's Nat King Cole. I'm thinking of Nat King Cole. He sang this wonderful song called Me, Myself, and I. Me, myself, and I are all in love with you. We all think you're wonderful, we do. Me, myself, and I. It's a great song. Ella Fitzgerald sang that song. Nat King Cole sang that song. I think Nina sang it, but I'm not sure. She was stunning. She was stunning. I hope to touch people even in a minuscule way that she did, on a global scale.
Anybody else come to mind that you
Who else do I
look
love?
up to or admire? Any names?
There is this awesome actress, Crystal Fox. I love her. I might have mentioned her last time.
Good.
Foxy is delightful. She's on a show called The Have and the Have-Nots now. If that show is still happening, it's Tyler Perry vehicle. She's just spunky, and I just she's the kind of woman that I want to be always, feisty, independent. She rides a motorcycle. I don't ride a motorcycle, but I could if I wanted to. I rode a scooter, so I have the wherewithal to pilot a two-wheel vehicle, with a motor. She's just a class act, and a really sweet person, and ridiculously talented. I kind of want to be that.
I think you are.
Yeah.
So, thinking on your past performances and shows, does one or two come to mind as favorites of yours?
Oh yeah. I don't even know if you know this. I just wrapped Othello at Post 5 Theater, the company I'm a member of. And it was the cast was all female. There was one man, and he played Rodrigo. Iago was a woman. Cassio was a woman. We were all women. And I played Othello, of course. And it was an amazing journey.
I'll bet.
An amazing journey. Our director, Caitlin Fisher-Drager, brilliant little lady. First of all, to decide to do an all-female, mostly female, 90%, I would say, Othello is all female Shakespeare's get a bad rap, because they're like, why do you girls want the parts? It's like, well, because, we can act too. And when Shakespeare did it, all the boys had the parts. So maybe a little bit of turnabout would be fair play. So there is that. But to play Othello is an interesting part because not a lot of women get to play that role at all. Because, you can always find a black man to play Othello.
Yes.
But we wanted to really look at, it was a vehicle for me as a company member to get an opportunity to have a lead role, which I appreciate Post 5 for focusing on their company members and giving them vehicles that are really going to work them as actors and give us the opportunity to sort of shine in a way that maybe another company might not. So big ups to Post 5 for that. This particular one, though, for me, the way Caitlin cut it, we cut the war out. So that whole first act where it's all war exposition and fighting exposition, we cut out. We know about that, we're soldiers. We get right to the nitty-gritty of the relationships. And typically there is a race component to Othello that is like, he's black and everybody else is white and nobody wants to be with a black person. Black people kind of suck. Desdemona's gonna fix herself and realize that she doesn't want to be with Othello once the lust wears off, and then she'll pick a nice white guy and settle down, right? It's the concept of the show. The whole Iago's like, I hate the Moor, I hate the Moor, I hate the Moor. He's black, black this, black, black that. So we culled a bit, and we took the male gender out, unless it was appropriate to Rodrigo. And we took the race out because Cassio, the person that everybody was trying to say that Desdemona was trying to sleep with, was played by a black woman. So the show came down to jealousy.
Can you wrap this in about a minute?
I totally can. It was that was it, jealousy. And jealousy as a motivator is something we can all get behind, men, women, or anything in between. We know what it feels like to feel slighted and to feel the loss of something you love. And it turned Othello, which is this race thing, into a heart thing. And I think only a cast of women plus one man could have done that.
You need to remember to let me know where you're doing something, what it is, on a regular basis, so I can come be a part of what you're about.
My next show is Jesus Christ Superstar. I'm playing Judas. I'm so excited. It's high, it's so high.
That's wonderful.
I'm gonna have to sing high. Here we go.
Now, I want you to say a few words, just a few words, about 30 seconds or so, to the viewers out there. Where you're going to be on this camera here, and just about what we talked about, or anything else comes to mind, so that they can hear your own voice and your own thoughts for a moment.
Everything. Life is wonderful. See theater. It's where you find out about the world. Go check out all the companies around. Come see Jesus Christ Superstar at Post 5 Theater.
Wow,
how's that?
Oh man, we have time for a couple of public service announcements, Mr. Director. Yeah, to watch my shows on the web, Google Don Baham YouTube. There's many shows there, all sorts of interviews, and a few people even as delightful, or nearly as delightful as Wonder Woman here. And the ACLU, our civil liberties are in jeopardy anymore with the Citizens United decision. Go to the ACLU and learn about the ACLU and their work in saving our civil liberties. We got to end corporate personhood and have an amendment that says corporations are not people and money is not speech. And thanks for watching again. And remember, KFC, don't forget KFC, and not Kentucky Fried Chicken, Dr. Don's KFC. Kind, friendly, and charitable. To you too, and you too, and you too. And see you next time. Thanks again for watching.